Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I have another what's sold on Poshmark and eBay video to share with you guys. I'm going to be covering, as usual, my 2 weeks of sales on these platforms. I did pretty well, if I do say so myself, considering I didn't list anything again during this 2-week stretch. So if you want to check out everything I sold during the first 2 weeks of January, definitely keep on watching. For those of you who might be new, thanks so much for checking this out. I am a full-time working mom, but in my spare time, I love making these videos on fashion, beauty, mommy lifestyle, a little bit of luxury, and also reselling as well. So if those kind of things sound at all interesting, definitely check out my other videos and consider hitting that subscribe button as well. Okay, so the video today is going to be covering the first full 2 weeks of January. So that'd be the week of January 2nd and the week of January 9th. So as you saw in my last What's Sold video, I was on vacation visiting friends and family toward the end of December and into the early part of January. And then I reopened my closet on Poshmark and ultimately eBay during the first week of January. So these are the sales that are going to start since I got back from vacation. As soon as I got back, things were pretty hectic, as they always are after a long trip, and I ultimately also started my in-hospital rotation. And given that the COVID numbers have really surged over January, work was especially busy over the past couple of weeks. So obviously I did not devote any time to reselling. I mean, I did spend time shipping out orders if I made them, but I didn't share very much. I also didn't list a thing during this 2-week stretch because that was what I needed to do, right? I couldn't focus on it. So this just goes to show that even if I didn't spend much time on this reselling during this several week stretch, I'm still able to make pretty decent sales. So I was really happy about that, and I'm excited to let you know what's selling for me. Just so you're aware, I really haven't listed anything for probably 6 weeks. So all of you resellers out there probably would shudder at that, but I don't claim to be a full-time reseller because I'm not. I don't claim to even be a serious part-time reseller because I'm not. So I hope that by just sharing with you the kind of sales I make purely as a hobby is what I look at this as. You know, it's just a way to make a little bit of extra spending money, but more importantly, it's just enjoyable for me to just see so many fun fashion items. So, all right, just get into this, right? So if you are new to Poshmark as usual and want to make your first purchase, consider using my referral code. It's MODMOMMD. That's MODMOMMD. When you first log into Poshmark and put in that referral code, when you ultimately make your first purchase, you will save some extra money, which is awesome. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into my sales, and I did have pretty decent sales on both Poshmark and eBay during this 2-week stretch, which I was very, very pleased about. So I'm going to start off with Poshmark, and the first sale came in when I exactly got back from vacation. So it was this J. Crew pink tweed sequin pointed toe flat in a size 6.5. As you can see, just gorgeous. Perfect actually for holiday time, but just going out in general, it had some sequins built into the tweed. Very unique look. So this ultimately sold, I believe, for a best offer of $35. So my net earnings are $28 on these beautiful flats. I've said this many times before, but J. Crew is a line of shoes that I definitely always really consider picking up when I'm sourcing. And this is standard label J. Crew, mind you, not J. Crew Factory. In general, I never pick up J. Crew Factory anymore, but just the standard label J. Crew, made in Italy, just really well crafted shoes, sell super well for me. And this is a little surprising. I wouldn't have normally guessed that, but they really do sell well. So definitely something to keep your eye out for. The next item that sold is from a line that I love selling, and it's Lulu's. This was called the Told You So teal blue long sleeve dress. It was new with tags, and as I've said before, I do pick up Lulu's, in general, only new with tags. I make a few exceptions if it's excellent condition and a super trendy style, but in general, the retail price points for Lulu's isn't all that high. So really the added value is if you find them new with tags. And I think we all tend to find a lot of these when we're out thrifting for whatever reason, new with tags. So it kind of works out. This is a beautiful dress, and the other nice thing about Lulu's is it's pretty easy to find a great stock photo on their website as long as it's a newer style. So you have some really nice stock photos you can add to your listing. I think it helps elevate things as well. So this dress did sell, I believe, for best offer of $40. So my net earnings were $32, which I was very happy about. And Lulu's for me is one of those quick sellers as well. I hadn't listed this for all too long and it sold pretty quickly. The next item was this really cute Levi's crop distressed denim vest, as you can see, in a size small. So this one sold via offers to likers for $24, and my shipping discount was $1.50, so my earnings were $17.70. So not a huge sale. I didn't pay a whole lot for it, so I was happy this moved along. I have sat on this for quite a bit though, so I probably would not pick this up going forward, but I thought it was a cute style. Honestly, was a little surprised that it took so long to sell, but nonetheless, I was happy I could finally move it along these 2 weeks. The next item has a little bit of a sad story because apparently the buyer never received it, but it was an interesting story, at least in terms of my communications with Poshmark. So this item was a Free People navy blue velvet silk blend pair of shorts in a size 25. Gorgeous blue velvet shorts from Free People, super pretty. I ultimately did accept a best offer of $20, so my net earnings were $16. So not a blockbuster sale, but I was happy with it, and it moved pretty quickly, I would say. So the weird thing about this is, it has tracking, of course, on the shipment, and it said it got delivered to the person, and because the person or the buyer hadn't accepted it over, I think, 3 days, it automatically says it is a completed sale, and they release the funds to me. So that's what happened. It happens a lot. A lot of times people don't accept it, and they just wait out the 3 days, and that's fine. I don't mind too much. So that's what happened. So I was like, all right, okay, that's good. It went through. And then I got, about a week later or so, a 1-star rating from the buyer, and all it said was, I never received the item. I mean, that was it. The buyer didn't communicate with me any other way except leaving me 1 star and just saying that. So I didn't know what to say about it, if I should write back or engage with the buyer. I was about to just say, hey, please contact Poshmark if you haven't received it. I'm sure they can rectify it. But before I did, Poshmark and their amazing customer service really reached out to me about it, and they said the buyer had already contacted them as well and said they didn't receive it, although the tracking says they did. They said they're just going to refund the buyer, but they're also going to let me keep the earnings as well because I did ship it right on my end. So I'm just so thankful for Poshmark because they're very proactive about these things, and they often side with both parties in these kind of disputes, such that they pay off both parties, which is great. In general, I've had a lot more challenge with eBay when things like this happen. Usually they always side with the buyer, even if I ship it out and did everything correctly. If the buyer says it didn't come, it's damaged, they can say whatever, eBay usually forces me to give back the funds. So I was thankful for Poshmark and just being able to settle this in a way that is fair to both of us. And I was pleased with that in of itself, but then on their own they said, oh, and we also took away that 1-star review because that wasn't fair, because that was how they were judging it, so they removed it. I didn't even ask for that, because honestly, these star reviews don't really mean a lot. I don't even think buyers really can see anything less than 5 stars anyway, so I honestly don't care that much about getting a 1-star review if it's a reason like this. If it's a reason that is going to be helpful for me, constructive criticism, I do appreciate it because I can work on whatever I need to. But this one was a little silly and kind of annoying. So I'm happy that Poshmark on their own just took away the 1 star. And I didn't even complain about it. So happy about that. Love customer service at Poshmark. So yes, that's kind of the story behind these shorts. I'm a little sad though because I really do think this was a great pair of shorts, and I wish the buyer could have enjoyed them, but, that's how it goes when you're reselling. The next item that sold was a really cool pair of Dojo Jeans from 7 for All Mankind in a size 26. So I think this style of dojo may have been a little bit of an older style. In the past, dojos, as you know, sold pretty well, but recently they're just not moving that quickly. So I was happy this one ultimately sold for $40, best offer. My net earnings were $32, which I was happy about. In the past, these would have sold better, I think, but you know what? I was happy to move them along, and I think the buyer bought it for her daughter, she said, so I was really happy about that and hope she enjoyed them. The next item was this beautiful top from Anthropologie. It's the Poshmark Clovelly Floral Peplum Top in a size extra small. This is a really cute style. In the back it had a little bit of a crisscross kind of open back look, which I thought was adorable. Perfect as we're heading into spring, I would say. So this top sold for best offer of $20, so my net earnings were $16. I would have hoped to get a little bit more out of this top just because I think Poshmark for me sells a little better than some other Anthro lines still. And also the quality and condition of this was better than some other basic Anthro tops. But, you know, nonetheless, I decided just to move it along. I've had this for a little bit, and I was just happy that I got a decent offer on it. All right, the next item was this pair of Levi's Boyfriend Distress Relaxed Jeans in a size 28. I did get a full price sale, I think, of $35, so my net earnings were $28. So I was actually, honestly, surprised this sold for full price. I thought I would have to accept a lower offer on these jeans. When I first purchased them, since they were new with tags, a great style, I think the Boyfriend is still a very popular style. I was excited about it. I wouldn't have picked it up if it was not new with tags, probably. But I paid up a little bit for it. Probably was marked up because it was new. So I was happy about it initially. When I got home, I looked at comps. They just weren't looking so good. So I figured I listed at $35 and probably take some offers. But sold for $35, so I was pretty happy about that. I wasn't sitting on this too long as well, in my opinion, so I thought that was a really great sale. The next item here is from J. Crew again. It was called the Greta. It's a pewter metallic leather heel. It was new without tags because it just really was unworn, you could tell, but I didn't have the box or anything because this was thrifted. So I said it's, you know, new without tags. It's size 7.5. Yeah, really excellent looking pair of shoes. So I did sit on this for a bit, but as I mentioned before, the J. Crew shoes, see, they're selling well. This is made in Italy out of beautiful leather and just great craftsmanship. They do move for me pretty well. Here's another example. So I was really happy this finally sold for a best offer of $48, and my net earnings were $38.40, which I was very pleased by. This was a great sale for me. So yeah, super happy about that one, and the buyer loved it as well. And then I sold this Bowdoin dress. It was a 100% cotton denim dress. It had a snap front. Really a little bit of a unique style, I would say. It was in a size 2 US, and you always have to be wary of US versus UK sizing with Bowdoin. But this was size 2 US. And I did accept a best offer of $40, and my net earnings were $32 on this dress, which for me is pretty good. I think Bowdoin dresses sell for the 30-ish to 40-ish range, so this was right there. Yeah, I'm so happy about this. A little bit of a unique style, but Bowdoin for me still is a pretty consistent seller, I would say. And then the final sale on Poshmark during this 2-week stretch was a retail arbitrage item. And it was this beautiful Uggs, and they were the classic short studded suede leather boots, and it had gorgeous metallic studding on it in this vibrant purple color. So a little bit out there, I know, but for the right buyer, I thought this would be amazing. I purchased this from UGG directly, and I wanted to try my hand at retail arbitrage. I purchased this kind of in the beginning of the pandemic where I wasn't sourcing in the thrift stores at all because I stayed away from them. I needed to find other ways to source my closet. So I tried some UGG retail arbitrage, and this one didn't sell last year, but it sold this year. So I sat on this for over a year. I'm happy it sold now. Let me just say that, because if it didn't sell this season, I probably would have to wait a whole nother year to get to the colder season again to have people really look at these. So I was really happy to move it along. This was also pretty bulky to store in inventory, so I was super happy about it. But it was brand new with tags in the box, brand new pair of Uggs from UGG. It sold for full asking price of $150. Always surprised about these things, but super happy. And I made $120 off of these shoes. I did pay up a little because it was retail arbitrage, but I still made a decent profit. Really happy about that one. So yes, in the future, would maybe consider this. The only downside with these kind of retail arbitrages, of course, is you have a decent upfront investment and they're very bulky. So I'm not looking to get into doing more of UGG retail arbitrage at this time, but if I find a screaming deal somewhere, I mean, I honestly think these boots, despite all the critique people give about Uggs these days, they still move. They're comfortable, they're warm. I like wearing Uggs, and I think other people do too. So it's something to really, really think about, I think. Okay, so those are all the sales I made on Poshmark. So not bad, right? At least for me, that's not bad. For a lot of people, people would laugh at it. But, you know, like I said before, this is a pure hobby for me, and that's good for me. So in terms of eBay, I made 3 sales, which is also pretty good for me. So I'm going to tell you about them as well. So the first sale was this pair of Timberland boots. It was called the Beckwith Side Zip Chelsea Leather Ankle Boot. These were also really unworn, and that's how I listed it. I didn't have the box or the tag, so I didn't list them as new. But there was no wear on the tread at all. And it also came with the original stuffing and the filler for the boot, so you could tell it hadn't been worn. It was in a size 7, and I accepted a best offer on eBay of $68, which I thought was a pretty decent offer. Timberland has been a line that I've had pretty good success with. I've only found it a handful of times, but the boots sell really quick and for pretty decent money. So Timberland is definitely a bolo brand for me, and I get excited when I find it. So this was really no exception, and I was really happy about selling it on eBay. The main thing though is boots like this are pretty heavy, so you have to make sure if you're charging shipping to charge enough to cover, or if you're offering discounted shipping, just be wary of that because they're pretty expensive to ship. The next item was a really beautiful vintage Dooney and Burke. The style was called the AWL R20 Zip Top Clutch Bag. Kind of a weird name, but I did a lot of research about this because I love Dooney and Burke. I own so many Dooney and Burke handbags. But, you know, the more recent styles. So this one I got from my mother-in-law because she was just cleaning out her closet. It truly was vintage. I don't exactly know when this was made, but she probably purchased it, I don't know, like in the 1980s or so, probably even earlier than that. And it was one of her prized possessions, but she's getting rid of things now, so she thought I might want to resell it. So I put it up on Poshmark, and because it was vintage, it did not have all the more modern ways of telling authenticity. But I guarantee you this is authentic. She purchased it from the store directly. You know, I had to research a lot about how to prove, at least on Poshmark and eBay, that it was authentic for that reason. So this is the name of the style that it was. It was the AWL R20 Zip Top Clutch. So that's kind of helpful in terms of leaving in your listing, I think. But this ultimately sold for full asking price on eBay, which I was super excited about, of $80. So this sat on Poshmark for quite a bit longer, and I didn't really get any decent offers. I can't even remember if I got any offers at all, but if I did, they were really lowball, because I really was motivated to move this because it was just, you know, our family inventory, and I just don't want to sit on it too long. I personally hadn't invested at all into this bag, so I just wanted to, you know, clear it out. But, you know, I probably would have accepted a decent offer, but it sold full price on eBay, so I was so happy about that. So I want to learn more about vintage styles. I think that's one of my goals as a reseller, is to learn more about vintage clothes in general, because I think there is a market for it. I just love fashion and handbags, so I think it would be really interesting to kind of get into that a little bit more, and just for, you know, enjoyment, just to kind of learn more about all these beautiful different lines. So happy about this. I did do a fair amount of reading on vintage Dooneys, which I was also really happy about. And the final sale during this stretch on eBay was from Lulu's again. So I just talked about how I sold something new with tags from Lulu's on Poshmark. Here's an example of a Lulu's item that was new with tags as well, that sold on eBay. This was the Hypnotized Tropical Print Shorts Romper. It was new with tags again in a size large. I mean, look at this pattern, super gorgeous. When I first found this when I was sourcing, I was just drawn to the print, and then I realized it was a romper, and that was an extra score because rompers still sell pretty well. It was also a score because it was size large, which is really nice. So I was super happy about that. I accepted a $35 best offer, and really happy to move this item along. But again, new with tags Lulu's definitely does very well. Alright guys, so there you have it. Those are all the items that I sold during this 2-week stretch. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Let me know down below what your favorite items were that you've been selling these days. Otherwise, thanks again for watching. I hope you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye!